Sam, quick! The space-time continuum is unraveling! We gotta play Back to the Future Dice Through Time to fix things!
Oh, that's better.
Hey guys, I've got Back to the Future Dice Through Time on the table here. And let you guys take a look at it. This is a cooperative game that takes place in the Back to the Future series of movies, all three of them in this one. And as a cooperative game, as we've said in previous videos, they're very great to play with non-gamers, as you all either win together or lose together, and so there is no competition against one another. However, there is that quarterbacking element that you as the gamer want to avoid, and that means not telling your non-gamer friends what to do on their turn. Let them play the game. And so how this game works, you are going to be playing against all the different Biffs in the series of movies, because what Biff has done is he has gone into the DeLorean and stolen lots of different items from the different years and scattered them throughout the board in the wrong places and the wrong times, and it's really disrupted the space-time continuum, and you need to fix that. You need to get those items and return them back to where they belong. How this game works is you're going to follow the player order printed on the player boards here, doing each thing in order. And you will hopefully do that before this out of time marker reaches the end of the out of time track before it is game over. How this works, you're going to flip a number of these event cards depending upon the number of players, and you're going to put them on spaces of the board. So for instance, Doc falls in love with Clara. This would go at the schoolhouse in the year 1885, and that would be right here. And this card tells you that you need one arrow and a wrench to be able to resolve this event. And it goes right here. Now, you as the players, you are represented by these DeLoreans in your different colors and timelines. And so if I am the pink player and it's my turn and I want to try to resolve this event here, I need to go back in time and get to the space of that location. And then, like I've mentioned, spin those dice to be able to take care of this event. One important thing to note, Biff, who always ruins everything, cannot be in the space of the event that you're trying to resolve. You first need to punch Biff with a fist icon here and move him to any spot on the timeline to take care of that, and then you can resolve the event by spinning the dice. When you do that, you are rewarded with an item card. And the number of item cards in each deck is determined by how difficult of a game you're wanting to play. I would recommend starting on the beginner version, in which there are only 2 cards in each timeline, because this game's pretty difficult. It's not easy to beat. So you are rewarded with an item, and that would then go down here on your player board. And you can only hold 2 items. So make sure you are trying to return these items when you get them, because if you complete an event without having the space to take an item, you don't get an item. But these items need to be returned back to their proper location and timeline. So case of plutonium returned to Doc's lab in 1985. And Doc's lab 1985 is right here. And they have printed the icons of the different items that need to be returned to those spots right here on the board. So that's easy reference. And once you would get your DeLorean to that spot, you would then exchange, you would turn in your item, and you would be rewarded by moving your out of time marker back on the track, which is great. And you would get one of these Einstein tokens. These Einstein tokens are really good. They are different random icons on the back of them that go up here into a community pool to be shared by all the players in completing the events and challenges on the board. Now, that's what you're trying to accomplish in the game. You can see on your player boards what the different dice actions do. What you are trying to avoid is being in the same spot as another DeLorean, because when you are in the same spot with another DeLorean, you've created a time paradox, and the space-time continuum starts unraveling faster, and you have to pay a penalty by advancing this out-of-time marker down this track. And as I've already said, if you ever get here on 12, you lose the game. The other thing that you are trying to avoid is leaving too many of these event cards unresolved on the different spaces on the boards. And how that works is, I know I didn't put these in the right spots, but how it works is whatever year has the most of these event cards still on it after every player has gone is going to then get some of these paradox tokens, which are bad. You want to try to get these off the board too, because they're going to advance the time out of time marker. So you need to clear up these event cards to avoid getting these out of time markers and ending the game in a loss for you. So put as easily as can be. The good things are trying to resolve these events, getting the items that you can return back to the place where they need to go in exchange for Einstein tokens that you can share and do good things with. The bad things you want to avoid are biff and being in the same spot and leaving these events on the table for too long and getting these paradox tokens. One other really cool thing about this game that I would have you guys know about is there is a time travel element in the sense that what you do in a previous year has effects on the years in the future. And so how that works is say I'm on the blue player here and I have used my dice, but I am left with one die that I have no use for. Well, instead of just ending my turn and wasting that die, I can leave that die on the space that I'm at, and any other player that is on that same location space in a future year, or in the same year if they were there taking the penalty, could use the die that I have left. Because this is 1955, the blue timeline is 1955, and I've left a wrench there to be used, and a player in 1985 or 2015 even could use this wrench because theoretically it's there. I've placed it. But a player in a past year, so in 1885 for instance, cannot use the wrench because it didn't exist. It's not there. It didn't get placed there until 1955. So there is a really cool time travel element to the game. Do make sure your non-gamer friends understand that first, because that is a little bit of confusing. Time travel is confusing after all. And so make sure they understand that before you really get into the game. And that is essentially how you play Back to the Future Dice Through Time. All right, so here is Sam and I doing a two-player run-through of Back to the Future Dice Through Time. And if you guys would like to watch the playthrough video, you can click that I in the top right corner and it'll take you to it. Right now we're going to share our thoughts on the game, and I will go first. I love the theme of Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite series of movies. I like time travel, and man, does this game provide a sense of time travel in a board game, which, folks, it's a very difficult thing to do in a tabletop game, the time travel element, but with that rippling dice effect, that's just so cool. It really plays into the theme of this game, and it's something you have to do if you want to be successful at this game. It is a necessary mechanic to work together with your teammates and helping them to accomplish their tasks and them helping you to accomplish your tasks. So it's really cool how that works in this game. And as I said, it ties into the theme. Just very cool. The other things that I like about this game, the events, just tie in so well with the movies. The fact that it covers all three of the movies, with the four different timelines. All of that's really cool. The IP here is just awesome. Back to the Future, and they do it so well in this game. Sam, what about you? What are some things you like about this game?
I would also say that it's very true to the theme. Is very true to the movie. I liked the time travel aspect of it. I really thought that was interesting. It was a hard game. The event cards made it hard, but it also is what kind of made it fun. That you would move and then you'd bring out more cards, and if you didn't get those taken care of, then more event cards would come up and they would pile up, and we could have lost pretty badly, but we were able to get them taken care of and kind of collaborate to get those taken care of. And I do like that it's a cooperative game. Yeah.
The word you said there, collaborate, that's very much the case with this game. It does take a lot of collaboration, a lot of teamwork. This game is very pandemic-esque in the sense that you have mounting trouble that's rising throughout the course of the game, and it takes a lot of teamwork and strategy to figure out how to cope with all of that and resolve it before it just takes over and keeps you from being able to achieve your goals. So let's move on to some of the things that weren't so great about this game. Sam, why don't you go first on this?
I think the first one that I mentioned as soon as we were done playing the game, which was it was very easy for me to let you take over and kind of do all the collaborating without me. I mean, I did have a say in certain things, but for the most part, it was a hard game, and I don't have that gamer mindset of we need to do this to be able to do this to be able to do this. So I did lean on you to make those decisions. So at the end, it did kind of feel like you made most of the decisions. It was a fun game, but because it was hard, it was easy for me to let you take the lead on it.
Yeah, that's definitely true with this game. It's very tactical. Requires a lot of forethought into what you're going to do next turn, possibly even the turn after. The way those event cards can mount up on you, and having to return the items to certain places, having to clear those places from any events, and the Biff characters, again, Biff just gets in the way, messes up everything. You have to have a very thorough strategy for how you're going to attack the next round and the round after if you want a chance to win this game. And for you, Sam, I felt like that was something that probably was difficult for you to get your mind around.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So this is definitely a great, fantastic game for gamers. And since we are a channel that bills itself as being trying to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers, I think we would say that this is a game that works fantastically well with people who play board games very often, that have that kind of gamer mindset, that can think 2 or 3 turns ahead. But Sam, as you would probably say, for somebody who doesn't do that, this game doesn't work too well for you. Is that right?
Yeah, but it still was a fun game. Another thing that I would say that I just felt would make it a little bit better, if there was a way to maybe get more dice. I felt like it was very limited with only having 4 dice, and maybe that's just because that would have made it too easy possibly, but I also think it's very hard with only the 4 dice.
Yeah, I think there was an element to it where, you know, rolling the same 4 dice over and over and over again, there definitely is that feeling of, man, I wish I could gain more. I wish the game would reward me with extra dice.
Especially if you're leaving a dice on the board.
Yeah, with the rippling dice, leaving your dice there. I mean, you only have 4 dice, and when you leave one there, you're down a die, and you're left with 3, and it just makes your turn end all that much quicker, and you're kind of left on the sidelines watching other people use their dice. I don't want you guys out there to think that I'm knocking this game and trashing it by any means, because I absolutely really do enjoy this game. And I would definitely play this again. It's just, this game is not going to be right for everybody. This game is going to be good for people who like tactical thinking, strategizing, thinking more than 1 turn in advance, solving a puzzle each round, because this game definitely provides that, and figuring out how you're going to solve different events on the board, returning items. That are the pluses to this game. But I think, as we've covered here, if you're playing with some people who don't think that way or don't enjoy that element, that they're going to be kind of lost.
I agree. But I would also say, because it is a cooperative game, it does allow, it's a good learning opportunity for non-gamers. If it wasn't cooperative, I would have failed big time at this game. But because it was cooperative, I could kind of have, you know, my opinion on it, but then trust my gamer husband to make the better choice.
Right.
So it kind of just depends on how well you can play together.
All right, so let's get to our ratings on this game. Sam, why don't you go first this time? What rating on a scale of 1 to 10, love to hate, do you give this game?
Probably just a 6.5. It was fun, but I mean, I really watched you play the game.
Yeah. So you would take it or leave it, essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
I love this game. I would give it an 8. I feel like it's a very excellent game for gamers. It is a bit of a I wouldn't say brain burner, but it is a game that will challenge you and have you think of how you're going to make your moves. And I like that aspect to this game. So Sam, is this a game that you would recommend playing with non-gamers?
Honestly, no, not really.
Okay. And I think I would agree with that, folks. This is a great game, but for gamers, not so much non-gamers out there. All right, guys, I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. If you liked it, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to check out our new content. This has been Love to Hate.